En toch het is zo weer. Mijn lijf doet zeer. En toch het is zo weer. Mijn lijf doet
Today we are in Hungary. This is Pannonia Ring and today is the race. The weather is finally really great. The track is awesome. Like we spent a lot of time sim racing that one, and that is definitely worth coming here like afterwards. So today there are not a lot of competitors. I have counted for now only 8 cars, but I hope it will be a bit more. Some of our team members are taking part today on the Mini. Last time they were the first in the class and our E36 was the second, and hopefully the guys will be on the podium today as well. So stay tuned. Sadly, this time we're not participating in the race using our E36. Last time when we were in Slovakia, on the very last lap for the Track Masters, when I checked the E36, I have blown up the engine. The issue was with the temperature. I have not seen the warning indicator that the temperature is too hot and I was pushing hard. So because of that, the engine is over. We have bought the new one, and when we have tried to install the new one, we faced the issue with the overheating and with the engine cooling. It is very sad that currently they are only a single car in their class. Congratulations to the guys since they are the first, but sadly that they are the last as well. There are a lot of classes in which there is only 1 or maybe 2 or maximum 3 cars. So today it will be more interesting to pay attention on the general class, but again, competing, for example, on a Mini or on the Mazda MX-5 with Porsche or with BMW 240, it will be complicated. But yep, this is the Motorsport. Everything can happen, and hope that the guys in general class will be able to show something. Let's see. The race starts early in the morning. The teams are arriving on the racetrack. They are unloading their cars. They do their last preparations, and the reglement has very strict rules that we need to follow. So each day starts with a briefing and with explaining technical rules. Let it be like this. So the next step is to pass in the exam. Each driver needs to pass the exam and knowing the rules of the race. Then it goes to the training, when the drivers do have 1 hour to train, to learn the track, to try the car, to try the weather in a combination of the car, to train some team-related things such as communication and so on. Currently, there are final steps before the qualification. So currently the training sessions are going. You can see here some cars are preparing, some cars are already on the racetrack. So like the final preparation steps, the teams are communicating, the teams are making the last changes to the cars. We have seen now a few cars that were fully rebalanced. I saw one Mazda, they have changed their camber and toy right now. They had like a small training session and then made the changes to the suspension. The format is really great. It's sadly that there are not so many cars today. The track is awesome, the format is awesome, but yeah, we have what we have. This part of the track is for the boxes. Each team has its own box. In the box they do the pit changes. In box they do some team stuff and so on. This is the room for the team, and closer to the end of the pit lane there are like fueling stations, and according to the requirements each team is allowed to refuel when they do need. Formerly there were regulations that minimal time for refueling was more than 1 minute. right now there is no minimal time for the refueling, no minimal time for the P change itself. So, like our colleagues here. So see you. Then we have a qualification. Qualification is for 1 hour, but usually it is a bit shorter. And then at 11, each time I hope it will be at 11, we will start racing. And then the 6 hours of Fast and Furious race starts. So now it is a time for qualification. The teams are doing their last preparations to show the best possible lap, and then the places on the starting lane will be split based on the best lap. Best qualification time go the first, and worst qualification time go the last. During the 6 hour race, I would say that it is not the most important step of the race, but still we need to follow. After the qualification, we were on the 6th place, and the start will happen very soon. You can see the teams are communicating, everybody is ready. The start will be like all the cars will be placed on the starting lane, and then the safety car will start. Everybody needs to drive slowly 1 lap, and the actual race starts from like going. The safety car goes to pits like after the first warm-up lap, and everybody start racing. The start of endurance race is one of the most interesting things because there are a lot of cars who are starting from the start-finish straight, and the first couple of laps are very saturated with overtakes. That makes this competition very interesting to look at. So our driver was competing for a couple laps with Mazda Miata. This Mazda was a bit quicker than our Mini. You know the tactics that you should not fight for the position on start. It's better to allow somebody to overtake and not to lose time, not to lose pace, but move forward and not compete. But again, emotions take place, and it was a competition. But finally, after a couple laps, our Mini gave the position to the Mazda Miata, and the race continued. As it usually happens when on the track there is an old BMW, the oil was spilled during almost the whole track, and currently we are waiting for already like 10 minutes approximately for oil to be cleaned out of the track, but we still need to wait, I think, plus minus the same amount of time. According to the track rules, it is not allowed to use the track when some of the liquids from the car, oil, coolant, brake fluid, anything else is on the track. All fluids must be cleaned before the race continues. And right now all the cars, you can see, they are all standing in a pit. They are standing in the positions that they have entered the pit from the track, and they will be allowed to use the track also from these starting positions. Despite now it is mid of May, it is very hot here, so the cars are running really hot. The drivers are really hot. You can see that almost all the drivers are now standing inside the pits. Currently there is like an announcement, everybody goes back, but because it is rather hot, everybody are staying inside, and the cars are without AC. The cars are, some of them, without even the ventilation, so it is very hard to drive there. And imagine, the driver needs to use the car for maximum 1.5 hours. That's insane. Hope that we will continue our track soon. Since our Mini was a single car in the class, we have decided not to fight for a single position, but to fight in general. In general, you should fight with such cars as BMW M240, BMW 335 E92, Porsche Cayman S, if I'm not mistaken, it was 981 or 987, and these cars are pretty quick. And of course Mazda Miata, which was even quicker than the 335. So the task was difficult since we had only a Mini with 1.5 liter on compressor. After 2 driver changes, due to good tactics and due to pretty consistent lap times, we were on the first place, and we have been on this first place for 1 hour. Our lap times were better or almost the same as a 335, as Mazda Miata, and as other cars that are quicker. And at that point we understood that we did not have any time to relax. 3.5 hours have already passed, and currently we have the 3rd driver from our team who is on the track now. We are now on the 1st place, and we have the handicap near like 1 lap. So here we are. We keep our fingers crossed that the next 2.5 hours will have fast hits and fast lap time. Despite the fact that we do have the slowest cars from the top 3 right now, our car is a lot slower than the next 2, but we do have one thing that is better for us. We have already changed the tires, the front tires, and the Mini does require only single tire change per the whole race. And also, we do have the brake pads that do not need to be changed during the whole race, despite the other cars. So currently, we are on the 1st place, but we are driving like 6-7 seconds slower than the 2nd and the 3rd one. But they for sure will need to have at least 1 tire change, at least on 1 axle. And they will need more refueling because they are more heavy. And very likely that the BMW will need the brake pad change. I have heard from the mechanics from their team that the next time they will need to do this. And if they need to change the brake pads, that will definitely consume the time. So we do have pretty good chance. end of the race. We were still on leading positions, but we suddenly understood one thing, that our competitors will use the fuel that they already have to finish the race, and we will need one more refueling. This is a big issue of our Mini. It has a pretty small fuel tank. We did not give up, and we decided to continue fighting till the end, but suddenly this happened. We have a radio with the driver, and the driver told us that the car is uncontrollable and it is not braking and turning. When the driver came, we understood that axle shaft was broken. It was broken closer to the wheel. We had an axle shaft. We have to replace this one. I think pretty quick. It was up to 5 minutes for replacement. We wanted to continue driving, but shit happened again. After the driver started going, after the replacement of axle shaft, we understood that the gearbox is broken. The broken axle shaft damaged the gearbox severely, and we were made to stop the race. And it happened, just imagine, after 1 hour of training, 1 hour of qualification, then 5.5 hours of a race, and we lacked only like 30 minutes to complete the race. And we were made to stop fighting since it was unrepairable. But then we saw one more thing, that it is very, very good that the gearbox was damaged, because when the axle shaft was damaged, it damaged the ABS, and without ABS, our driver was not expecting that it is no ABS there, and the tire, the front tire, was so severely damaged. Then if we go quick on this tire, we had a risk of explosion. That is motorsport. Issues are happening. Sadly, that for today we are not on the podium for the general, but we are still on the podium for the class. Hope that the next time the battle will be more fruitful. Hope that we'll have 2 cars from like our E36 and this Mini. Stay tuned, please subscribe, put your likes, support us, and see you next time.